Welcome to the shop. This is the start of a series to build a Jeep for my daughter. I'm going to show you what Jeep we're going to build, but it's not going to be that one. And it's not going to be that one. That's the daughter. But the Jeep that we are going to build is, well, that one. This is a 2001 Jeep Cherokee. I just picked it up off of Facebook Marketplace. It came with a bunch of parts, but the thing that it didn't come with is very much rust. And for anybody in the Northeast area where I live and come from, you might know, and you can't see it right now because I need a better lighting, but having all of the floors and all of the rockers and most of the frame is a pretty big deal. The things that it doesn't have, well, the engine. So the typical, it sounds like the typical 2001 head issue happened, and it must have burnt up the original engine. This is a donor that began the process of being installed, and that's about when I bought it. So it came a little tiny dent in the side right here, but it is 20 years old, so we're gonna forgive it for that. Again, it just kind of came with a whole bunch of parts. Because it's her project, we're going to introduce you to my daughter. What say you?
What?
What? So, are you excited?
Very excited.
What happened? What, are you going to be disappointed if we don't finish it?
Yes, very disappointed.
Alright, well that's good, I guess. Our goals are to get this done by what, February?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we can do. So my original plan was to leave it on the trailer for a little bit till we finish up a couple other projects. But my dad called me yesterday and said that he wants to borrow my trailer and my truck. So that means I've got to get it off of the trailer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook back up to my truck, move it over here and put it on the patio next to what we're going to start calling the donor. This is also a 2001 XJ or 2000. Same vintage, same parts as the one that we're going to be working on. Obviously it had a little fender bender here. Everything in the front end of it is still in good shape, and the motor was in good shape according to the accident. It's been sitting a little while, but again it started to become dismantled a little bit, and the previous owner sold it to me. Stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button and see the whole series. This is just the first, and I don't know how many videos there will be because it's going to take us a while, but we'll keep you updated on the progress. In the meantime, let's get that off the trailer. Here we go. Push. We've got it home. We got it in the shop. The next thing we got to do is we got to go over what parts it has. Really, I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace, and I had 10 minutes to look at it before I loaded it on the trailer. So now let's dig through this thing and see what all we got in it. And there's a lot of parts. The guy that I bought it from was in the process of rebuilding it, and he told me there was a bunch of stuff inside. Let's find out what it is. Let's get this open up. Falls.
Pretty light.
Over onto the table with it. That looks like, he said that was a radiator. Should we open it up and see? There we go. Find it. Looks like a radiator. Probably a radiator. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not going to do some cooler line fittings. That's an aluminum radiator. That is a nice aluminum radiator. Oh. Wow. That is serious business. Wow, look at that. I'll have to find out what that is. That is not a factory style radiator. That's great. Alright, let's get this guy out. See if you can open up the passenger's door and slide that in. Slide that out to me. good. We've got part of the front clip. See what we got in the body in here. Let's take that over to the table and see what I want. Radiator hoses. Bucket full of parts. Some of those look like they're off of an older Jeep.
Yeah, the one later.
Got a fan. Some interior parts. Some of the cross member. Interior piece. More interior bits. Fender flare. Got some stuff in here. Sounds like bolts. Serpentine belt. What that is. Is that bolts too? That is a light of some sort. Alright. A new hood latch pull cable. That's good. I know that one's broken. A seal. Not sure what that's for. We'll figure it out. Alright, figure that. Okay. There's the coil pack. Sensor kit. What else we got? Belt tension bracket. That's interesting. Those are blue bezels. And that is a chrome grill. So one of them is not stock. Oh, he likes coffee. Must be a good dude. Alright, so the rest of that just looks like bits and pieces. Free screwdriver. Alright. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the engine is mostly in. It looks like he did put a new thermostat housing on it, a new water pump. He said that he did a new oil pan gasket, and it kind of looks like there is new rubber down there. So that's probably safe to say that he did that. Valve cover gasket looks like that might be new. But one of the things I am seeing, that valve cover I believe is an older style. So let's get a rag and see if we can find a casting number on this head, because I'm having suspicion that this head is off of an older Jeep. 7120 head. See if I can zoom in on that. So that is an older head, which means that it won't have the bosses for the, yeah, here, bring that light over here. So it won't have the bosses. There in the newer heads, there is a spot to screw in a threaded stud so that you can put this guy on there, and everywhere this bolt goes in, or this spot, there's a head of a bolt that should go into the block there, or the head. So, not the end of the world, but it does make me wonder how old the engine is and how much. Oh, so they've already converted it to crank or cam position sensor. This would have been a cam engine, or I'm sorry, this would have been a distributor engine, not a cam sensor engine. So we will want to run a compression test on this to see how healthy it is before we go too much farther. Well, that'll do it for tonight. We opened it up, we found out what's inside of it, we looked at the engine. I have a couple of things that I'm concerned about with the engine. It's an older engine from 91 to 95. It doesn't have a couple of things that I would want to be able to put in this car. So I want to make sure that it's healthy. I'm gonna get good compression tester numbers off of it. We want to make sure it's connected to that transmission right, and then we'll make the decision on whether we use this engine or we go with the one in the other Jeep out front. Now the one in the other Jeep out front is the same year as this Jeep, so it has all the right stuff to go into this Jeep. But unfortunately, 2000 and 2001 Jeep Cherokees with the 0331 or whatever that casting number is for the newer ones, and with the catalytic converters up in the engine bay, they have a tendency to overheat. So the one in the front Jeep has the same tendency as the one that was in this one, which is it might overheat. But some of that is related to the conditions that they're running, and some of that is the head casting. So keeping this one in there isn't a bad idea or a bad option. It might have a slightly less amount of power, but that's okay. It should survive. But we want to decide which one we want to use by looking at the compression numbers and figuring out which one's the healthier of the two engines. So we've got a long road ahead of us. I hope you guys will subscribe and come on back for episode 2, where we start digging into the actual mechanics of this Jeep and try to get that running. And then after we get it running, what are we going to do? We're going to make it look cool. We're going to keep tweaking on it. She has her permit right now, and she will be getting her license in February. She has high hopes of maybe driving it when she gets her license. I'm optimistically thinking next summer. We've got to drag this YouTube content out as long as we can.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
He said
we're going to go hard
in February.
I said it would be
and then Mom said...
Did we get it on tape though?
No, we didn't.
Our goals are to get this done by what, February? Okay, see?
But I told Mom. And she said, if Dad says February, make it April.
If Dad says February, make it April. Then see, I was right.
Technically, it's spring. No, not summer. April is spring. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, don't
well, somewhere between February and April or summer, we're going to get this running and on the road and ready to go for her. In the meantime, keep checking back. I'm going to try to do a weekly or maybe every other week episode. Even if it's short, we're going to show you what our progress is and show you what we're working on. We'll do a couple of how-tos on it if we get to that. And look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for stopping out. We'll see you on the next one.
Like this video.
Like this video? Like this video? Oh, like this video. Like this video. And then watch this one.